Kunal, hi afternoon. Just fingers crossed. Hopefully, the global optimism should rub off on us. We're already at 26,100 though.
Yeah, 26,100 expiry day, expiry week, everything positive for the markets. Sector churn has also played up quite well for the indices. I think, after a bout of just about a couple of days of pause, Bank Nifty is trying to come back again. 11th consecutive day where the Bank Nifty has respected the previous lows. So, which means we are looking at a pattern of higher lows for the Bank Nifty for the 11th consecutive day. The Nifty Metal Index, that was an index which yesterday took a bit of a profit booking, but I think today we are seeing a very strong bounce back and many of the metal counters are looking quite charged up. Auto stocks making a very strong comeback. So I think it's a very classical kind of a sector play where we are looking at the index moving up higher, chugging along, and many of the other sectors, trying to play a rotation as well as participation quite well. So all in all, bullish on the indices. The next set of targets, as we were discussing, I think yesterday, is closer to 26,500 to 26,700 mark for the Nifty.
Okay, even 26,700 on the cards, and last 30 minutes of the trading session will do most of the magic there. But the government is considering allowing more PSU NBFCs to issue capital gains bonds under Section 54 EC of the Income Tax Act. That's the latest that my colleague Prakash is picking up, and this is of course for renewable sector financing. Prakash, tell us the details. At what stage is this proposal, and what's the expectation out of it?
Yes, we are learning from our sources that the government may include some more NBFCs in the list of companies that can issue capital gain bonds under IT Act. We are given to understand that some more PSU NBFCs are likely to be included in the list of companies that can raise funds through capital gain bonds. So very significant development coming in, as sources are informing that the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy may approach Ministry of Finance to include NBFCs primarily operating in renewable space. A very significant development coming in. In fact, IREDA has requested ministry to allow issuing capital gain bonds covered under Section 54 EC of the Income Tax Act. NBFCs such as REC and PFC are already issuing capital gain bonds. Therefore, some other companies have also approached Ministry of New and Renewable Energy to approach Ministry of Finance on this issue. Along with that, sources are also informing that the industry has also recommended government to launch bonds dedicated to the renewable energy sector. In fact, industry wants green bonds to attract such green bonds to attract no interest or 0.1% of interest to meet funding demand. MNRE is likely to approach Ministry of Finance to meet financing requirements of the renewable energy sector, which is expected to draw investment of rupees 33 lakhs crore in next 5-6 years. Therefore, all these efforts are being made, and approx 12 lakh crore investment likely to be drawn from NBFCs in next 5-6 years.
Okay, that's quite an important news flow, or rather news break by my colleague. The fact that the government is considering allowing more and more PSU NBFCs to issue capital gains bonds under Section 54E of the Income Tax Act, and sources are now telling us that the renewable sector's financing needs could actually push the MNRE to seek approvals from the Finance Ministry and include green focus NBFCs like IREDA. That stock higher by 2%. But let's address another bit of news, and we've been seeing and hearing as well about the kind of customer complaints that are happening against Ola. So let's understand all of that, and before we do that, let's take it across to Ajay Bagga, shall we? Okay, now we'll go across to our chartist and try and understand first the market setup, and then of course we'll have the Ola Electric management as well join in. But Naresh, any sector-specific trend that you're picking up? Today it really seems to be all about autos.
So NBFC as a space has been looking interesting. We've seen Shriram Finance do well. Now we are seeing momentum come back into L&T Finance. Then there is M&M Fin, which is breaking out right now. There is AB Capital, which is seeing some price action. So NBFC as a space looks pretty interesting, the whole basket.
Seems like the global buoyancy is definitely rubbing off on our markets. We're at the day's highs and now clocking on to 26,200 really in trade. Maruti holding up 5%, M&M higher by 3%, Tata Motors almost notching that 3% gain. Metals, of course, are contributing a fair bit. Tata Steel, Hindalco, JSW Steel They're all looking pretty good, and so is Bajaj Autos. So auto, metal, they are the big theme. And since we're talking about autos, let's try and understand really what's going on with Ola and the kind of service complaints that one has been hearing about, talking about, and has been flooded all over social media as well. Harish Abhinandan, the CFO at Ola Electric, joins us right now to exactly break the myth for us. Harish, hi, afternoon. Good to have you on ET now. Just wanted to understand what really is the issue. I mean, we understand that customer complaints have now reached 80,000 in a month.
I think that number there is, obviously grossly amplified. But coming back to the, thanks for having me on the show, and the fact that today we have launched the new partner scheme, which takes the EV revolution to the next level in our strategy towards end ICE age. So that's one very significant initiative by the group today. And coming to your point on the complaints, the fact is that we have continued to expand our service network. We are currently at a little under 600, where we're ramping it up to 1,000. So there's a continued investment in the service area by us. So that's a continued process for us, and all these issues are being addressed as we speak.
But do you think that the backlog can be covered with the new steps that you're taking?
Absolutely. I think what we have structurally looked at service a very different view and then handle the case. The entire backlog, etc., and the backlog is again a bit of a amplified data point, but the entire service investment is there, and you will actually see it in how these things evolve in the next very near future, next few weeks itself.
So we're waiting for that ramp up, because there are those concerns that even a lot of brokerages like HSBC, etc., have flagged with respect to what's happening with respect to the service request mounting and the overwhelmed situation of a lot of your customers as well. But shifting focus to the market share as well, because there as well there has been a loss from over 40%, which was there in the first half of the year. It's dipped to around 31% now in the month of August and around 29% in September. What are you doing to maintain your moat, maintain your market share as far as Ola is concerned?
So I think I would not come. Market share is an outcome of many factors. I think we are committed to our strategy of our EV first approach, a tech first approach. And we have continued to kind of announce products. You have seen our August 15th announcement. Our strategy remains absolutely on track. Our execution remains on track, whether it is on the two-wheeler side or on the cell side. We have a slew of launches coming up in terms of the entire motorcycle range. And in that direction, we are also, as we expand our front end, that's been key areas for a continued investment for us. And if you also see the recent Bernstein report, which highlights our clear margin advantage consequent to our tech investments and vertical integration investments. So between some of the other incumbent players and us, so that our path on our strategy remains unhindered.
Okay, point taken. So that's what you're doing. But given the fact that a lot of other companies are also coming out with these fresh launches, I understand your focus is on the absolute volumes, but is there a market share in mind that you'd want to target, or let's say a monthly figure of sales that you'd want to hit on a consistent basis?
It's every auto, we always have internal numbers and internal targets to go after, but that's an internal matter. And it's not about the market share. For us, it's all about getting the right value product out there from a consumer perspective. And that's what we have always focused on, the best product to the consumer at the best possible price. And that's been our strategy of growth right through.
Yes, internal matter indeed, but definitely of interest to the investors and the other stakeholders. That's why it's a job to push that question a bit. But just trying to understand, a lot of states are looking at coming up with some new policies to, push the manufacturing as well as the adoption as far as EV is concerned. We saw, of course, in the four-wheeler segment in hybrid in UP, there are talks of something happening in Karnataka as well. What do you make of this policy action which is happening?
See, the government has been extremely supportive of the EV ecosystem, right? The various states were very supportive. The center has been supportive. There has been multiple schemes, and there's a coming PM E-Drive scheme, which is expected to launch on October 1st. That's again a good flip to the industry as a whole. And in that direction, we continue to invest. In that, if you see our announcement today, 625 new network partners on our network as our touch points with the customers, both across sales and service. going up to 1,000 by end of this year, going up to 10,000 by end of next year. So there is our momentum on business is on track. Our business design is as robust as ever and on track in this direction.
Harish, let's clear the air. You said the backlog of complaints is not 80,000. What is the count then?
So I won't be able to give you an exact metric on that because that is obviously continuously, as we track it daily and it's improving continuously as we speak. We have invested, and just to again maybe repeat myself, we are continuing to invest in service. That is a focus area and will be a focus area to ensure that our customers do get the best service on time. While we have seen a bit of an increase over the last few quarters, but that's currently well under paths to bring it under control.
Is there a consistency in the complaints? I mean, are these all battery related or other manufacturing parts? Why is it that you're getting these bulk complaints?
See, the customers' awareness of also EV is significantly, kind of going up as they speak. And their understanding of the product, the understanding and use of the product is continuing to get better and better. And we treat this as a normal course of business for us. And if a customer has an issue, we have to address it ASAP. And that's been our motto and focus.
Okay, yes, that definitely adoption and education is something that needs to be ramped up. But what's your, scale-up expectation as far as your motorcycle is concerned and the three-wheeler which was in the pipeline?
So the motorcycle, you have seen our announcements, which we did on August 15th. That was our product day. And these are very, in my view, very revolutionary products out there. As we have seen how we have transformed the EV industry from a scooter landscape perspective. Going back 3 years, there was hardly any EV scooters out there. And today, EV is mainstream in scooters. And that's what we're going to do in motorcycles. Motorcycles are, a larger chunk of the two-wheeler markets, actually. So we will play a significant role in driving EV penetration and our end ICE strategy in the motorcycle segment also.
There also the competition seems to be heating up, and it's understandable given this is one of those focus area that in-house battery manufacturing, battery cell manufacturing that you were putting up as well. Could you talk to me about the roadmap for that? What's the target, let's say 12 to 18 months out on that one?
So as we already, battery, our project is well underway. We have completed the 1.4 gigawatt hour capacity. That capacity is already there. It's under trial production as we speak. And we are on track to complete to 5 gigawatt hours. It's already, part of our filings with the exchange and during the IPO process also. So we are on track to hit the 5 gigawatt hour cumulative capacity thresholds and then going up to 20 in accordance with the PLI scheme, which we have been the awardees of, the largest PLI scheme in the ECC scheme, in the cell scheme. So we're on track for the project as we speak.
The other thing I also wanted to talk about is, Harish, what's been the response to the Roadster series bikes that you launched just about a month back?
If I look at the engagement at different parameters, it's been extremely exciting. I think people are waiting for the product. Today, there are hardly any options for anybody who wants to buy an electric motorcycle. So we have seen pretty excitement on the communities, the customer touch points, and our connects with the customer. So, but we haven't yet officially launched. We have launched, but not yet officially started bookings, etc. Which we will in the due course of time, usually pretty soon. And as per the schedule Bhavish announced in his August 15th announcements, so we are on track to hit those timelines.
And any special, events lined around the festive season in the sense, any special scheme, discounts, anything interesting coming in for the customers that one should watch out for?
Can't disclose the product launch strategy yet now. Let the marketing guys do have some very pleasant surprises for the customers.
Okay, on that note, we'll let you go. Thanks so much for making time and speaking with us. That's a clarification coming in from the management. 80,000 service requests seems to be an overstated number. They are quite hopeful and enthused about the kind of response that they've been getting for their motorcycle and ramping up as per the internal targets on that one. Time now to welcome on board Ajay Bagga to talk to us about the rest of the market fundamentals as well. And the market fundamentals are looking strong indeed, with that 26,200 mark being scaled at the moment. We should pull up the Nifty and the kind of up move it has seen in the last few minutes as well. There's a further uptick happening as far as Nifty is concerned, and that 3 p.m. move is happening maybe 8 to 10 minutes prior itself. Ajay, what do you make of the momentum of the market? There's no stopping it at all.
Yeah, flows are very strong, and we see that domestic flows are absorbing even the little FI selling that is still coming through. We are seeing that absorption happening. So the domestic flows, I would say, is the first factor. And then you add on the global cues are quite benign now. We are in a strong rate cutting cycle. The Swiss central bank also cut rates today. So globally, we are seeing monetary stimulus coming into the economies. There is some softening globally, but India is performing very well on the macro. The balance sheets are very clean for corporates. Banks have the ability to lend. So we are sitting on a good place in terms of macro, in terms of corporate earnings strength, in terms of banks' balance sheets being clean. And on top of that, domestic flows are coming in. So we are, comparable in terms of flows to a US of the 1980s, when Ronald Reagan brought in 401k accounts, or China of the early 2000s. That's the kind of scheme that India is seeing right now, and that's lending a lot of strength to this market rally.
So Ajay, what's the call on the market right now? Anything that you're buying, recommending to do so, or anything that's looking interesting and you're keeping on your radar for whenever the market dips?
Yeah, I think the two big trends, Aisha, globally, and they're coming into India as well. One is artificial intelligence becoming pervasive in everything. Second is the renewables. So everything linked to these, whatever you can find in India, that will do well. So that's the global touch point. And in terms of domestic, I think the next 1 year story is the recovery in the rural demand. That is coming through very strongly. We know the capex, we know the public infrastructure build out. The impact of that, you're seeing 20% better taxes year on year. All those benefits of the infrastructure build out are coming through. The railways, defense stocks already ran up, and they've also seen a mild correction. Now, what is turning is the rural demand. So, anything connected to the rural economy, this is a good time to load on to that. Today, I was surprised with the passenger vehicle moves. I was not, frankly, expecting that. And we'll have to wait and watch, because there's a huge inventory in the higher end cars sitting with dealers. Nearly something like 70,000 crores is the automobile inventory. Now, that is part of the festive season also. The companies do tend to overproduce so that the dealers have enough stock. But we'll have to wait and watch how the numbers come through. But the two-wheelers are doing very well, and that's linked to the rural economy. I'm more bullish on the two-wheelers than the PVs. But if like Karnataka government came out, if other state governments become competitive, UP government already has a policy, Maharashtra has a policy in place, they have to extend it. So if the big states start giving these kind of incentives to the passenger vehicle makers, then you will see the automobile passenger vehicle segment also do well. Otherwise, I'm betting more on the two wheelers because of the rural demand coming back.
Oh, well, yes, and it does look like that policy push is coming, or at least in the works, has been reported by a lot of pink papers as well today. So just watching out for that as well. That's about the auto sector, the two-wheeler and the four-wheelers, and how it's poised for growth from here on. But on the losing side, it's Crompton Greaves, which is down, and Kalyan Jewellers is also coming under pressure. Ajay, whatever channel checks that we have been hearing about, reading about, or anecdotally as well, is it pointing to a bit of a softness of the in this festive season?
There is softness. July and August numbers will not look too good. But what is happening, if you look at the top-down view, you look at the trade deficit, the way it came at $29 billion, and the biggest boost to that trade deficit was from gold imports. So we are sitting at the cusp of 35 lakh weddings in November and December. You will see retail and jewelers doing very well. So I'm not very phased out by what the numbers will come for July, August. I think as the festive season gains traction, next week as Navratri start, and then the wedding season takes off by end October, you're going to see retailers, high-end retail, as well as the jewelers do well. They have been building up a lot of inventory in anticipation. Stocks have run up as well. But as we saw today with a foreign brokerage talking about a domestic retail company, there is still scope for further re-rating, and that consumption at and those segments, the affluent and above segments, is very strong. Maybe the mass affluent has not caught up, and there again, as the rural demand picks up, you will see those coming through. But the affluent and the premium segments are doing very well. And you will see that correlation with the wedding season coming through, be it for the retailers or for the jewelers.
Right. Okay, Ajay, stay with us. Lots more to discuss. We're going to take a very quick break, come right back with you. But here's the two e-commerce giants who are gearing up for the Dhamaka festive season now. Amazon India as well as Flipkart are all launching their Great Indian Festive Sales. So let's get in a pulse from what the managements have to say.
Perspective is to focus on things that don't change with time. And we focus on what matters most to our customers. And we believe that our customers deeply care about a vast selection which is available to them conveniently, reliably, and fast, and at prices offered by our sellers which are attractive to them. So, like every year, our endeavor is going to make sure that we are able to offer the vastest selection at the fastest possible speeds.
This time we have a unique feature where people can come in and lock in the favorite deals which they're looking for, and the product gets reserved for them to buy during the Big Billion Day. And this particular feature is actually seeing very, very good traction across fashion and the beauty and home categories. Every few hours, people can expect some value driver. We have different types of frenzy deals which are coming up. Like TikTok deals and so on. We also have personalized coupon this time. So if you look at the Big Billion Days, I think over the years it's become the start of the festive shopping season for us, right? And for the country.
There comes a time when your heart calls for you to arise. Plant your feet solid into the ground. Decide your own limits. And then break right through them. Become something more. It's my time to rise.